It was mid-summer 2020, and things were not going well. Let alone, for anyone, businesses were shutting down, people were being evicted due to not having enough for rent. The unemployment rate was high, many people struggled to get by. I was close to obtaining my master's. However, the school had other plans by keeping it till I paid. Talk about a ransom. Not to mention the heavy use of alcohol and pills was not helping at all. I did all that just to numb the pain and have time go by quicker than most days. The school I will not name, due to privacy reasons and all. I will state this, the campus shut down back in March 2024. They shut down due to not being credible with credentials. That alone makes you think if they ever were credible and that their credentials held value. Anywho, they were never that great at taking accountability. I fought tooth and nail to get that degree in my hands. I did succeed, but with a cost. The campus never gave me the grades in classes I had to retake due to their professors not doing a stand-up job. I did want to become a teacher and cross-country coach. Once the pandemic hit, schools have gotten more political, more saturated. Anyways, COVID-19 was at large throughout 2020. Companies were not hiring or had to cut hours just to stay afloat. I cannot even explain into detail how many applications I filled out. I did land a job in 2019 prior to COVID. Obviously, you can tell how that went. Those around me, friends, even family were so convinced that I was doing something wrong. Granted, looking back there probably was a flaw to how I would do things. However, I cannot think of any when I have done what I was instructed to do. The typical response would consist of a variety: have you tried applying in person, or there has to be something on your resume that throws employers off. Companies would much rather have an individual apply online and view the applicants who seem fit due to viewing a piece of paper. The online aspect of it just wastes time by making one or more job Facebook-like profiles. I almost forgot to mention how companies want at least 20 years of experience in that field when posting an opening in their company. Like, come on, we are in our mid-20s. All that occurred during the summer of the pandemic. Just the experiences I had just showcases the emotions I felt during the time. All the effort I put into school to obtain a degree that is no longer credible, let alone having it credible to begin with. I felt that it was years of my life doing nothing since graduating high school. I understand I chose that route. I did choose a path I can utilize in any field, regardless of the degree. It was just the amount of unnecessary toll it took on me. The summer months during the pandemic were mentally and emotionally draining. The amount of job applications being filled out just to be discarded left and right with no possibility of stability was stressful enough. I no longer had passion for the hobbies that used to bring excitement to myself. I do not compare my life to friends nor others on social media. I am aware I have my path, they have theirs. I am proud they are growing and prevailing in life. It does, however, sting seeing that, then see myself and what I have done. At that time of all this, things with my great aunt were more in demand. The appointments, shopping, etc. turned out to be more often than most days, taking even more of a toll on myself. I am glad I was there for her for everything that woman has done for me during my stay while going to school. I was hardly sleeping at night. When I would, it would be restless. I did not care what was going on in my life or did not care to talk about it. If I had, I would not be heard, so there was no point in doing so. At times, I would catch myself staring into nothing. That was until I realized I was staring at a wall in my room. What was a few minutes felt like hours. All those emotions had me overthinking about past traumas I have no control over. That was when I knew I was in a dark mental state. I always had what-if moments with all of them. It was like it was on repeat, I just could not stop thinking. Like, in those if that had not happened to me. How grand will my life be? I always felt obligated to hop 10 and 2 for loved ones, but some could not do the bare minimum. It is always, I will have him do it or anything along those lines. It is never, I wonder how he is doing. It always made me feel if I would not be here, no one will ever acknowledge the so-called great things I have done. They will just remember everything I ever did for them. I have always felt I was a mechanic for others. The act of fixing a person only for them to return the favor only when it benefits them. So, I decided to use that to my advantage. I helped them with anything, I wanted to do a lot, especially for those I did not know. Do some good, achieve something meaningful before I go out. Once that was taken care of, I went for a drive one late night. Prior to that, I had cleaned my great-aunt's house, made a few calls to friends and loved ones. Some answered, others did not. Took a moment of silence for myself. Dark, moonlit living room as it shined through the windows. As I go out, I start to head towards the aqueduct. I figured, I have a fear of drowning, so might as well attempt to accomplish that. Once I get there, I walk a little way along the aqueduct trying to pull myself out of that mental state. I stop, look across the valley with the moonlit sky taking it all in. As I am staring at the water flowing through the aqueduct, listening to the sound of it rushing through was peaceful and settling. As I take a deep breath to jump in, my phone goes off. It was odd to me as it was an odd time of night. Let alone I never really heard from anyone unless I contacted them. At that point it was rare they would reply. That one text alone made me pause and reevaluate everything. So, I decided to walk back to my car. Once I got in the car, I realized what I was about to do was selfish in a way. It is selfish only because I felt I would pass the pain I had to my friends and family. That was the only thing that made me not go through with it. For that I am grateful.